All right, how many times have we talked about the big event? Yeah, big event, big event. What's the big event? I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm also going to share some information about a podcast on Jeff Mara's channel. Amazing guy. If you haven't seen him, you need to go check out his channel. We talked about some cray-cray stuff. I'm going to share some of that with you now. Yeah, we're going to talk about the big event, but what is it really? Okay? You ready? Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Are you ready to do that? What's the big event? So one of my students said, "What's the big event?" I said, "Oh, well, it's been happening." And she said, "Yeah, it's been happening for centuries." And I said, "Yeah, it really has. This whole journey is the big event, but it has been coming to what I call the tipping point." Now, you guys have seen my book, and I'm going to share some information from it. It's called Breakthrough Fear, Your Spiritual Butt Kick. Of course it is. What's the tipping point we're at? The tipping point's in the book, and it explains exactly what it is. We are actually at it. So we could say it's been coming. And yeah, it's like sands in an hourglass, right? Eventually it runs out, and that's where we are right now. We are going into transition, but here's why. There's no just one big event for everyone. It is a collective planetary one that's happening, and you're seeing it through fires, floods, all these things happening on our planet. That's part of the tipping point, because everything comes to a perceived ending. Your life, the planet, the way we live, there are perceived endings so that we can transition into other things. Our big event is creating that for us. Now, what is the big event? The tipping point is that we are no longer able to sustain the way we've been living, which has been on a low frequency and destructive. So we're going into a new era where we have to make changes. Now, what's going to happen? If there was one big event for everyone, it wouldn't really work all that well, because we have people on lower frequencies. People on lower frequencies, you know, is that really fair for them? And somebody else is more advanced and awakened? No, it doesn't work that way. Your individual journey determines whether you participate in it or not. And everyone has equal choice to go into the big event. The big event is no longer living in the way that we have been. But here's the good part. It is a choice. The big event is your decision on how you're going to handle every single day. And you either go into the tipping point of a higher frequency or a lower one. There could be a lot of people, in fact, the majority of people are in the lower frequency. They don't want to let go. They're in such density. And so if you go into a higher tipping point, they are not enemies. They are not separate from you. Your light shining will affect them. That is the tipping point. Then we can absolutely tip this planet into a higher frequency and start to live completely different lives. It is happening. If you're not seeing it, then maybe you're watching some stuff out there that's very negative. The big event. The big event is the dissolving and collapse of every system that has been on a lower frequency. Now I want you to think about that. Any business or institutions or organizations that are service to self will no longer function. They are out of balance. They're going to a tipping point. They don't work. And those in higher frequencies will no longer tolerate it. In other words, we just don't participate in it. Right? So organizations that get money from you to help other people, they're really not using that money properly. Eventually, we start to know what's really going on with this. You can't hide all that. And so we will no longer support that, and they will dissolve. Neither right nor wrong. It's just how we've been functioning, service to self. If you go into service to others, you're going to go into the tipping point where you will live in an abundant society and community that flourishes. So we always think that we're sacrificing when we go into that space. It's the opposite. There will be no shortages of anything, because everyone is going to make sure that what we have plenty of. We have it right now. We have been in the other space of excess, hoarding, freezers full of food that's months old, all the ways we've been living that's so unhealthy. We're going to go into simple, needing less, no chemicals, no abuse to animals, none of these things, because that lifestyle is going to take us into a space of high frequency, and the gateways open up for us. We start to work in alignment with nature and everything else, because right now, what's happening on our planet is a reflection of our negative, low-frequency behavior and the evolution of the planet, right? She has an ending at some point. It won't be in your life right here like this. So I was on Jeff Mara's podcast. I'm going to put that here at the end. You'll see a link to his channel. And we talk about all of this stuff. We talk about the matrix. What is it? We talk about how you can manifest anything. We talk about reincarnation and why psychics or law of attraction doesn't make any sense, because the bottom line is you're completely in control of everything that you create in your life. You're the creator. It's not happening to you. There's nobody you have to ask for anything, because what you think and believe, you project and you receive it. So we want to be service to others, because that out here is me. So when you're thinking of me and what I need to be happy, you are in a low frequency, and that's the old world, right? We do things to guard my family and my community and no, it doesn't work that way. Somebody said they were going to have a garden, for just their friends. I said, good luck, because if we go into a state of panic, that garden's going to last 2 hours, because all your neighbors that you put a fence around, your little garden, are going to bust it down, because that's not how we should be living. We must go into a state where, and this might be very uncomfortable for you, you will never lack for anything. Anything. So when you flourish and you're abundant, you are helping out the entire collective. This whole thing of spiritual people are broke, it doesn't work. This is why I'm always promoting business. You guys see this all the time. I'm always pointing up here. Get training. Take the action. We've got to be the change makers. You can go out there and make a boatload of money, but here's what happens when you're in an awakened state. You don't need it to be happy, and you use it for ways that feel really good, that's sharing, service to others, and you have not just stuff you need, but stuff you want. You can have some luxuries, but you don't need them anymore to be happy. That's the tipping point, and the big event is that we go into a new earth, a new world. It's happening, but it's not going to be one day. It can't possibly be, because we need time to evolve and learn and transform. And you can be a part of this, and you can start right now. If you guys have seen, if you're in my free video series, the first thing you get in the thank you page is the free masterclass, 4 Proven Steps to Manifest Anything. And I talk about, if you are not getting the results you want in your life right now, if you're not living in that new world, that fabulous new event that's happening, it's because you don't believe you hold the power. And I want to open those gateways for you. That's the big event, is when you realize how powerful you are and that you are the creator of your entire reality. Everything changes. Game changer. Are you ready to do that? Because then you realize you're doing everything with one thought. Just one thought changes everything. You ready to join me in that world? So I hope you'll watch me on Jeff Mara's podcast. What a great guy he is. He's just such a sweetie pie. And again, these are videos, free videos. Get the training. When you come over here, I show you the different ways that you can earn online doing good things. Independence, getting skills, putting the work in, investing in yourself, time, especially learning. And then, of course, I hope you'll subscribe. These are free. Go in the description, and you can see my book, Breakthrough Fear Your Spiritual Butt Kick. It may be the only last book you ever have to read. Basically, you're it. You're everything. You are the power. Are you ready to start using it? I'll show you how. But it's your choice, because we came here with free will. No matter what you choose, you can't make a mistake. But my guess is that you like to go into that high frequency. It's a lot nicer up there in the penthouse. You ready for that? You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.